Hi everyone, the Island Stacker here. Welcome to another video. I hadn't really appreciated the email that I had received from eBay until I watched the video that Backyard Bullion has recently done around the buyer protection scheme that they're introducing from the 4th of February. So I've just had a quick look through the email, and as mentioned from Backyard Bullion, it doesn't really read very well for people or private sellers selling and buying stuff on eBay going forward from the 4th of February. So some of the things that they've said in the email that they're adding to the service is 24-hour customer support, and the seller only gets paid after delivery. So as a buyer, I can understand how that would be useful, as if you get an item that you've purchased from eBay and it's damaged, etc., then I guess you have grounds to claim your money back, which I suppose is useful. But on the flip side, from a seller's point of view, then you're stuck waiting for confirmation of delivery to the seller before you get the proceeds. So you won't be able to liquidate or get your money quickly if you need it for an emergency, for example. So the additions that they're going to be changing from the 4th will be adding a 4% fee plus 75p onto listings. So the way that they've put it on the email is, say you see an item listed for 20 quid. Say I put this up on eBay for 20 quid. Not that I'm going to, but if this was listed at £20 after the 4th of February, there would be a £1.49 fee included in that £20. So the seller would then only get the £18.51 or whatever it is with the fee taken off, I would assume. Now, that's not great. It's better than what it used to be prior to the changes at the end of last year, where they've removed fees completely, where the seller used to have to pay, I think it ranged from about 12 to 15% that eBay would take as a cut. So that obviously drove the prices up of the items that were on eBay to cover the additional fee that eBay would take as a percentage of that. Then towards the end of last year, they scrapped that, and that's been great. So if you've been selling stuff over the last few months, then you'll have seen that there's no fees taken from eBay on selling items, which is great. I've recently sold a platinum version of this coin on eBay that I've had no fees deducted, so I received the full amount of money that I sold that item for. The downside for me selling that coin is something that I hadn't appreciated, which apparently is standard process for eBay, is to have anything over £1,000 held for 30 days, which I do not understand. So the item was purchased, paid for, and dispatched special delivery by me to the person. They received it the day after, and I now have to wait a month before I can have access to that money because it was over £1,000 for the coin that I sold. So the item sold on the 3rd of January. I now have to wait until the 3rd of February to be able to get those proceeds, to be able to use that money in some way, shape or form, which I don't think is acceptable. If the buyer has the item, has been delivered, and there's been no contention and there's been no issues with the delivery, then I don't see why the funds cannot be released to me. Why should eBay be able to hold my money and earn interest on my money for a month while I sit here without the money for the money or the coin that I've sold a month prior, which seems a little bit odd. And I'm not sure if that's, they say it's standard process, but I'm not sure. I don't know if anybody else has had that issue where they've sold items that are above £1,000 in the past. But if you have, let me know in the comments if that's how you had the experience with them. They have put on the email that for items over £300, the 4% fee will be lower. but they don't specify how much lower or what percentage lower that will be from the 4%, or if it's a discount on the 75p, for example. I don't know. So it might be slightly more beneficial to pay or to sell items that are above £300 rather than, say, a 1 ounce silver Britannia that might only be £20 or £30. It might not be as, it won't be as cost effective to sell smaller items than it would be to sell larger items, which I can understand eBay trying to encourage people to sell higher value items, so that obviously they get a bigger cut and higher profits from the percentage that they're taking. The improvements that they're saying that this is including in as part of the service going forward, I have to say I don't necessarily agree with. So the benefits of them including this 4% fee and 75p are that items are free to sell, but items have been free to sell for a while now, unless you're selling specific items, but gold and silver coins, etc., do not come under that, so they're free to sell. So there is no issue with that unless you promote the listing, which you obviously pay for. But I could list this coin up on eBay for no fee at all. So that's not a benefit because that is already in place. The second thing that they put down as a benefit of including this fee is that it's simpler to sell, or simpler to list, sorry. So I know that the app has gone through a couple of redesigns over the last few months where the process, I have to say, is slightly easier to list an item, where the postage and starting prices and auction features are all kind of segregated, which makes it a lot easier. And you don't have to go in and out and change the settings where eBay's trying to make you have a buy it now price or offer prices based on what they think, which again has been implemented for a few weeks now, or maybe a bit longer. So again, no benefit for including this fee as it's already in place. And then the final point that they put is to get easier items to the buyers of them. So I'm not sure what this means. So they quote it as having simple delivery. So I don't know if eBay are going to be doing some form of self-postage that they'll be doing, or if this means that they're just going to be promoting the stuff, the courier service that they have links with for the stuff of like Every, for example, and Doddle or whatever the other courier companies are. But if that's the case, I don't see that being any benefit to anybody, because if anyone has had anything delivered by Every in the last, full stop, if you've had anything delivered by Every or Hermes or whatever it was previously, then you know that that is not a service that you want to have anybody suffer, because okay, it might be cheap courier servicing, but the aggro and the frustration that I have gone through with trying to get confirmation or information from Every, where my orders just disappear, or they don't even try delivering them even though I'm in my flat, that's a separate thing. So they say that that's a benefit, but until we get details of what simple delivery is, I'm not sure what that will entail. But if anybody has any ideas of what that might be, let me know in the comments down below. So yeah, that's kind of a summary of the email that they've sent round to everyone. So I think if they left it as it is at the moment, where there is no fees on selling stuff, I think a lot of people would rather that, as you as a seller then make the money that you are due based on the item that you're selling, rather than losing a large amount of it to eBay's profits. But I agree that potentially a small fee could be taken. Obviously not everything in this world is free as much as we might like it to be. So I could understand maybe having a small fee on selling items, but having this fee with an additional cost and then it changing if you get to a certain value and all this simple delivery, I just don't think that it's going to make eBay a place to sell for private individuals going forward. It's just making your lives and our lives more difficult to buy and sell if you're an individual. If you're a company, obviously there's additional benefits and you don't have to jump through as many hoops, etc. And I'm sure eBay is trying to get to the point where they only have large company listings, business listing accounts, and making it a much harder for us individuals to buy and sell coins with each other. So I've been using eBay for buying and selling for a number of years, and I've always thought it's not the best place to buy and sell, but obviously it gives you a larger market to be able to potentially sell an item across whatever region you live in the world. And I have sold many things on there, precious metal related. Will I continue to do so? I think it's going to be a tough ask going forward. I'll have to see how this fee structure thing works when the 4th of February comes around. But I think there's probably other places that will be better served to try and buy and sell gold and silver. But that's my opinion. Let me know your thoughts down below, how you think this 4% fee is going to affect things going forward on buying and selling stuff on eBay. If you think it's just going to be the death of eBay completely, or if you think that there's still potential that people are going to use it. But let me know your thoughts down below. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll catch you all on the next one. Cheers.